Hey guys, this is a couple short tips on how to deal with borderline women. The first thing you guys got to realize is it's actually a mental illness. So you're dating somebody that has a mental illness. I try not to actually shit on mental illness. A lot of people have mental illnesses that qualify as mental illness. I don't know how many people I run into that would fit criteria for things like bipolar. I've had several friends that have had schizophrenia. So I'm not by any means shitting on mental illness. Everyone has some sort of mental health issues, most likely. I don't think I've ever met one person that didn't have either bipolar or schizophrenia or something, right? Everybody has something, right? I don't think I've ever met a perfect person. But there's a couple things you have to realize about when you're dating somebody that has borderline personality is that it's an extreme mental illness. And so you need to kind of tread lightly. I've dated at least two or three women that would fit criteria for this. Um, they have a major fear of abandonment, so they want to put most guys in the friend zone out of that fear of abandonment. A lot of these girls are being promiscuous, so they're dating a couple different dudes at once. They don't want people to find out about it. That's why a lot of times they'll say, I just want to be your friend. My borderline girlfriend used these exact words. She said, I never wanted to be your girlfriend. I just wanted to be your friend. That's an actual quote from my borderline ex-girlfriend. And yet she would be in my life for years. We've had sex numerous times. I don't know about you, but I usually don't have sex with my friends. Um, so it definitely was beyond the level of a friendship. I mean, when you're having doggy style sex with someone, is that a friendship? I don't think so. So they don't label things really correctly. When things are obviously a relationship, they don't want to label it that. Why do they do that? They don't want to put the boyfriend label on it. That way they can cheat on you without any consequences. My borderline ex-girlfriend was a nightmare sexually. She would only have sex with me like maybe once every couple months. It was a nightmare. She didn't care about my sexual needs at all. It was all about her. I mean, I remember she'd come over, I'd sexually gratify her, give her oral sex, things like that. Um, have sex with her, things like that. And like, I'm like porn star level in bed. So I know it wasn't anything I was doing. It was just her fear of that intimacy. She just pushes intimacy away. I think she thought, hey, if I'm having sex with Steve a lot, he's going to think he's my boyfriend. And I can't let that happen. So do you see how it's just constantly being pushed away, pushed away, pushed away? And yet they send you mixed messages like they're still having sex with you and stuff like that, but they want to friend zone you. Um, I don't know how many times I've been ghosted by my borderline ex-girlfriends. So ghosting, guys, is going to be number one thing you got to look out for. I mean, you're going to be getting attached to these borderline chicks, these narcissistic chicks, just to have your heart broken in the end. A lot of these girls, as soon as you start getting close to them, they push you away. I'm recently I dated a girl. Um, as soon as she found out that I had feelings for her, that I wanted to be her boyfriend, she pushed me right the fuck away. Why is that? Because she really just wants shallow relationships. Like even the guy right now that thinks he's the boyfriend is actually laughable because she invites guys over when he's not around. I know that because she's done it with me. She's invited me over when she's been fucking other guys. They don't know about it. So this is the type of deceitful, dishonest behavior that you're going to see from borderline narcissistic women because it's in the same cluster as that antisocial personality, the cluster B personalities. So you're going to see a lot of those really ruthless behaviors like a lack of empathy, no regard for your feelings, things like that. My ex-girlfriend literally had absolutely zero regard for my feelings. Didn't care how she was affecting me. She actually broke up with me, guys. And again, we were never girlfriend, boyfriend, but we were having sex and stuff. She actually was staying with me for a while, and she actually left me on Christmas Eve, guys. I end up having to go to work the next day. I was planning on ending it, planning on killing myself at work, and I was like literally going to do it. Um, so guys, it's just one of my friends who actually passed away of a drug overdose talked me out of killing myself that day. Um, but guys, So that's where these borderline narcissistic women can leave you with the ghosting and shit, is it can literally just make you suicidal. It makes you feel worthless. Here you are, you got attached to this person, you love this person, and they're just going to fucking ghost you or break up with you for no reason, absolutely no reason. I mean, you could be the most loving boyfriend in the entire fucking world, and your borderline girlfriend, once that hate cycle switches, because one of the key features of borderline is those love hate cycles. So they're going to go through periods where a couple weeks at a time where they're loving on you, love bombing you. And then once they start feeling those enmeshment triggers, like relational triggers, like you're being too much of a boyfriend or you're getting too lovey-dovey, they start pushing you away. Most likely because of that fear of abandonment. They're thinking, Jesus, as Steve gets close to me, he's going to find out I'm a fucking whore because I'm fucking 3 guys right now. And then he's going to break up with me and I'm going to lose my friend. So really, that's why my ex-girlfriend wanted to put me in the friend zone, because she saw me as awesome narc supply. She was also a narcissist. She was a borderline narcissist with antisocial personality, which is the absolute worst combination you can get for a borderline. Um, there are some good behaved, people out there that have mental illness. I'm not saying every single girl with borderline is a nightmare. I'm sure there's girls out there that fit criteria for borderline that aren't necessarily a nightmare, whereas the girls I've dated were actually fucking nightmares. I mean, there was another borderline girlfriend. It's so funny because they have co-occurring disorders with this. Like, one of my girlfriends, she fit criteria for like schizophrenia, but she also fit criteria for borderline. Um, and then at the end of it, guys, I didn't realize it, but she had like a major PTSD, and at one point, one of her boyfriends had shown up at her house and physically assaulted her to the point of almost death. This happened out of state, before she moved to my state. A guy almost killed her in her apartment, not knowing that she was mentally ill. See, the problem with the boyfriends, guys, is when these girls ghost them, when they go through those hate cycles, which my ex-girlfriend would go through hate cycles where she'd tell me she fucking hates me, wants to kill me, how much of a fucking scumbag and a loser I am, things like that. This is probably why the boyfriend attacked her. And again, it's a mental illness thing, guys. I mean, here are the hate cycle triggers, and she's sending the boyfriend all these nasty fucking messages. You're a fucking scumbag. You're a fucking piece of shit. I'd like to kill you, things like that. And then what is some mentally ill nutcase guy that may be off his meds or something, her ex-boyfriend or whatever, shows up at her house and almost fucking kills her, literally almost kills her, to the point where she had a mild brain injury from it. Um, what is that, guys? That's him taking her behavior personally, not realizing that she was severely mentally ill. I wish I could get one day in a room with that fucking guy, because I would beat the fuck out of him. And I'm not lying, guys. Any man that hurts a woman in my book is the biggest fucking piece of shit in the world. And again, guys, if you've like slapped a woman or something in your life, apologize to God for it and then move on. You don't have to keep fucking beating women just because you feel like it. Because someday you're going to run into a guy like me that's just going to kick your fucking ass for it. Or, like, I'm one of those guys. I'm not the biggest guy in the world, but if I know you're fucking hurting women, I'll just show up at your house, dude. That's how I am. I hate women abusers. I hate people that beat women. I can't stand them. I can't stand men that hurt women. Um, it's one of my triggers because my dad used to beat my mom. I actually went to jail over it here at this apartment complex. My borderline girlfriend called me one night. The guy she was dating two. She wanted to date 2 guys at once, so she's trying to have a fling with me, and she was trying to have a fling with her downstairs neighbor. And one day they got into it, and she called me telling me that he had pushed her down on the hallway. And again, domestic violence is my trigger. So I knew that I would overreact. So I called law enforcement to deal with it because I know that my nature is to overreact to stuff like that. So anyway, I let the police deal with it. Dispatch tells me go outside. So I go outside. This guy's outside. He ends up running his mouth to me. End up pushing him there, which he's lucky that's all he got. End up getting arrested right on the spot by law enforcement. And this is me sticking up for a woman, guys. Her boyfriend was being physically assaultive to her. She was being physically assaultive to him just as much, pretty much equally. She was being physically assaultive to him too. So she was being, borderlines are prone to aggression. They're prone to violence. They're prone to verbal aggression. So she was being a little bit abusive to him as well. Things I probably didn't even know about. But here she is calling me, telling me that he just pushed her down in the hallway, and I fucking lost it over it. End up pushing the guy outside, went to jail for the night. The court system and the judge dropped my charge because they saw that I was just trying to stick up for my friend. I mean, what would you do if one of your girlfriends called you and told you some guy pushed her down in a hallway? You'd probably do the same fucking thing, right? So anyway, guys, number one is ghosting. Borderline narcissistic women are prone to ghosting, guys. As soon as they feel those enmeshment triggers, they're going to push you the fuck away, leaving you suicidal, leaving you depressed, leaving you upset. And again, if you're suicidal, please call 988, the Suicidal Prevention Helpline. Number two, guys, is those love-hate cycles. It is absolutely ridiculous, the love-hate cycles, because they'll come into your life, they love bomb you to get what they want. A perfect example is one of my borderline ex-girlfriend. She was homeless in her car. What'd she do? She love bombs me. She starts liking my Facebook posts, which she never does. That's a love bomb. She gave me a hug here. That's a love bomb. Things like that, guys. Treating me really well, going to the bar with me, telling me I'm the only guy that can put up with her, hugging me, crying over my shoulder. Those are the love cycle, right? And then my landlord texted me, said, I'm going to kick you out if you don't get rid of her dogs. They were actually her service animals, so the landlord's probably breaking the law. The landlord says to me, she needs to have the dogs removed or I'm going to evict you. So I had to ask this girl's dogs to go. How did the borderline girl respond? She hasn't been back since. It's been over a fucking year, guys. Just for me asking her to take her little dogs out of here, which I was being threatened to be kicked out of here, has not come back for over a year, guys. This is what these borderline girls do. They come into your life to get exactly what they want. In this case, she wanted housing when she was sleeping in her car. And then I asked her dogs to go right away. That accesses the hate cycle. It's a hate cycle trigger. There's a couple ways they can get into hate cycle. One is the hate cycle trigger, and then another is just their mental mind can sometimes switch over to devaluement without them even realizing it. They're going to go through periods of valuing you as the boyfriend and periods of devaluing you. I'll give you a perfect example of devaluement. One day, my ex-girlfriend picked me up here with her brother to go play disc golf. I was only in the car like literally a minute, guys, and she's talking about how she's going to drop me back off after disc golf. That's a perfect example of devaluement, making me feel devalued, making me feel like, geez, let's go play games and then just drop me the fuck off like she don't want to be with me or spend time with me. That's devaluement, guys. And it can actually lead to suicide, make you suicidal, depressed, everything. I'm actually very, very lucky to be alive. My ex-girlfriend, my borderline ex-girlfriend, left me suicidal numerous times. Numerous times. I am very, very fucking lucky to be alive, you guys. So ghosting, the love-hate cycles, those fears of abandonment, the pushing away behaviors. This is all stuff, guys, that you need to be aware of. If you're actually dating somebody that's been formally diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, keep in mind it is a mental illness. If you really care about this person, I suggest you really learn about borderline mental illness, all about it, so that you can better understand your girlfriend. One thing you really need to do when your girlfriends get upset, guys, is just give them space. If they're getting out of control in the apartment, just leave, knowing that you're going to be the blame if the cops show up, because in America, mostly the men are guilty until proven innocent, right? That's how us men are. If cops show up at our house, they automatically think the man is the aggressor because the man is the larger person, the more scary person, right? Not knowing that my borderline girlfriend literally slapped me full force in the face, had me up by the throat out front of my house so bad the cops would have stopped. So they can be prone to violence, guys. Even the girl that pushed the guy, she was pushing up on him, being violent towards him. So it wasn't all him, guys. I just get triggered by domestic violence. But anyway, guys, that's a quick couple discussion on, some of the warnings of borderline guys, because there's pros to borderline. Like borderline women, when they are in the love cycle, they can be so very sweet. They may do a home project for you, things like that, a love bomb stage. So borderline's not all bad, guys, but you need to know the bad parts so you can better protect yourself so you don't end up dead or hurt at the end. If you like this video, you can subscribe. Please like this video, share it with a friend. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful week, and keep your chin up. Bye.